Hello everybody and welcome back to the Little King story playthrough. It's time to look through the King exhibit at all of the art pieces that we unlocked, because this is the second part of the extras and this is the kind of main bulk of what we need to look at. So you get a little comment for all of these. Some of them have little prizes. So this one gets the Heartfelt prize. And it's really quite sweet. Because obviously, people took the time to draw these things, and some of them are really good. Turnipple Pass. It's great. Some of them obviously are not necessarily so good. But on the whole, it's fascinating. And also, it's really funny, because obviously people put the time and effort in to create these things, and then the developers of the game went to such lengths to then describe the picture and have a little bit of a joke with them, and it's just really sweet, really, because it shows that the developers appreciated all of this artwork and really wanted to give it a showcase, which I think is just brilliant, really. I suppose it's the same reason why I am... well, it's not quite the same reason, but similar line of thought. It's why I like the bit at the end of Journey in Child of Eden, because obviously a lot of people sent in pictures and photos of the world and themselves, and that was very touching, because it really did feel like the world coming together, and it felt like the developers truly appreciated the fact that people sent in their pictures, and that was a wonderful spotlight. And this is a similar vein, except because it's not quite so ethereal a game, they're able to just put it in an exhibit like this and have a bit of fun with describing everything, rather than, you know, just including the picture and just having it spiral around magically. And yes, I don't know why they let this one through the net. All the more attractive, eh? Well, I think we know what whoever wrote that little clip was into. Jesus. And yes, we are going to be here for quite a while, I feel. Well, obviously, because I mean it's a bloody long part, and it's as you would expect. Whenever I do these types of things, they always tend to last a very long time. It's because there's generally so much artwork that you can't escape it. And also, once again, it's one of those things that everyone knows is there, but not everyone actually goes and looks at. Which is heartbreaking, because obviously these people put in a lot of effort to create these pieces of art, and we need to give them the showcase that they truly deserve. Oh, these comments always do make me laugh. We're like, that's no ordinary dye. Look, beans. The red ones are, wait for it, red beans. I think you might have Just clocked off early on that one. Wielding a ceramic sword and a clawed arm, it slices and dices the enemies. Thank goodness for the ponytail. Without it, he would have looked evil. And that's quite an interesting design. He gets the stylish prize. Look at that drawing skill. The details on each twig and branch just ooze talent. Look, there's actually a tiny fairy. Oh yes, sort of looks like a leaf. And oh, I look at that and I think, oh, that reminds me of Howl's Moving Castle. That's a good one. I like that one. And I'm not quite sure what the bath tree reminds me of, but how interesting. At least the developers found it quite funny. And I can't quite see that one, but that's quite a cute little tree with stuffed bears. So basically it's a tree that grows stuffed animals. That would be quite a lovely tree, that, I feel. And also, this is just totally cool. It's a panda ship. How could you not love that? There's not really much to that one. But at least they thought, single-cell protozoan. That pretty much sorts it into being a little bit more interesting than like a square. And oh, I look at that and think, oh, that's sort of the type of thing I would have designed when I was a kid. Like, just going ridiculously over the top with everything. Like, never been the best artist in... Well, I can't really draw properly at all. I can doodle a little bit. But I've not really got a really effective art style. It just looks quite ugly, to be fair. And quite rubbish, really. So I really have not got much to... Well, I can't really comment effectively on these pieces of art, because there's no way in hell I could draw some of them. Others I could certainly do better than, but they were probably done by young kids, at which point it's kind of bad to be bad-mouthing them, you see? And Marvel Brothers... Perhaps somebody quite liked their Marvel, but either way, peelable faces. How bizarre. And that would be quite funny. And location. It's quite nice that it moves. I mean, you see, if ever you wanted to move house, you could just take the house with you. Just be like, right, my home. Get up, we are moving over there. Be one way of getting rid of horrifying neighbours, wouldn't it? Also, Uncle Frank. Oh, I would have quite liked to face them down. Little sausage with a skewer ready to stab you like you want to stab it and eat it. It'd be horrifying. And also that very much reminds me of the Moonflowers, I think they are called. But also, part of it reminds me of Petey Piranha a smidge. Also, I think I would be terrified if I came across that enemy, because I mean, it looks sort of like Slender Man. With a Dalek suction cup to just suck the life out of you. That one's quite good. I quite like him. I think that would have perhaps been a very effective final legendary UMA. So you know, like when we face down the blue dragon, imagine him being a bit like that. And also that's quite a good dragon as well, although I have to feel his wings are slightly in the wrong position. They're a bit further along his body. I mean, to be fair, your design, you can do what you like with it, but I feel wings tend to go on the back rather than on the side. But oh well. Game, you might want to just be quiet now and just move on quickly and quietly. And that cat is quite cute. And I'm looking at that and thinking, it's an enemy that would probably, in terms of art style at least, quite fit into Lost Winds. That indie title, or indie-ish title that ended up, well, was on WiiWare, and I believe is now on iOS, and so on and so forth. And I'm always down for an octopus flower. Why not? Just merge Vileplume and Octillery, and that's basically what you've got. And yeah, this Yume looks particularly weird. And they're quite cute. But obviously, got an innocent gaze, but it's probably just about ready to kill us, you know? It's always the cute ones. It's always the quiet ones. They're the ones you've got to look out for. But this one's just so cute! And that one's a wee bit ludicrous, but I'm totally down with it. I mean, to be fair, looking at it, I'm looking at the thing it's riding and thinking, I believe, is it Fantasy Zone? It's one of those classic franchises, classic Sega franchises, I believe. And there's the toilet. I mean, to be fair, you can make an enemy out of anything, so why should a toilet get away with it? And it looks more like a snowman than a rice man, but okay. I have a feeling I'd look at that Yume and just go, oh, it has the Puss in Boots effect, you see. So it's just like, do 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 do. That was my attempt at doing that little bit from Holding Out for a Hero from Shrek 2 and failing miserably because I can't exactly remember how that sounds. And I've also got the sound of the music of Little King's Story in my ear, which is not obviously helping me trying to remember that. But oh well. Oh look! It's gherkin pickle version of Andros. You see the hands, the face, and so on and so forth. Ooh, that's a good one. You can tell that was drawn by somebody who knows what they're doing. Oh, master artist Toko. You see, it makes sense. Because that is a damn good piece of art, although I feel like I'm looking at its behind. And that makes me feel quite gross. Oh! That got dark very quickly. And yeah, that one was just terrifying. Mummy Bird, I think I can deal with that one. That's relatively normal. Also, they used methinks. Whoever wrote these captions is a person after my own heart, because methinks, oh, love methinks. It's a great word. We should use it more, methinks. And I would be totally down with taking on a Puff King and Puff Soldiers. Why couldn't we gone this in the game? I would have totally gone for them. And that looks pretty terrifying. Kind of reminds me of the Tonberry. I think it's the mask. That's the thing. It's that head with the eyes and the knife. You just look at it and you just go, oh, that's a Tonberry, or inspired by a Tonberry from Final Fantasy, obviously. And I mean, it makes sense they would have had multiple mushroom submissions, because obviously you're going to have a lot of people submitting art. And so you have to pick which one's the best, and yes, Athlete's Foot is horrible and gross and disgusting. You should hope you never get it. Thankfully, I've never had it. Oh, I realised that when I was saying that, it sounded like I had it. No, I've never had Athlete's Foot. Although, I mean, that doesn't mean that my feet don't stink. They do. But that's for a totally different reason. That's just because I have very sweaty, disgusting feet. Always had it. Can't avoid it. It's ridiculous. I wish there was some way of, just preventing sweat from exiting my feet, but it's just not possible. And what is it with people designing weird half-human UMA with incredibly chiseled features? It's almost like we have some people who are either very much into hentai, or someone who's kind of like a half fairy or something. And also, it's a duck thing! That's quite fun. Well, a slime duck thing. It's quite fun. And also, I'm totally down with this design. It's really stylish. I like this one. And I feel it would be quite a fun enemy to fight. Well, this is certainly a design. I have no idea how it's flying, because, I mean, those wings don't look like they could actually sustain liftoff. But, Now, I believe, if you actually want to look for the eyes, they are the diagonally lines, I feel. Because the mouth is of a similar ilk. It's like a little O in between the two red blobs on that one. But yes, then we have Unibrow 1 and Unibrow 2. And a horizontal zebra. Which I really do like the looks of. The look is perhaps a bit evil, yes, but it's a really cool design. And actually, it's always quite fascinating when you change something that you know into something a little bit different. And oh, these are so cute! And Nose Hair Old Man. And that's not exactly what I was thinking would happen if you looked into his eyes for 10 seconds. What I'm thinking is, oh my god, he's terrifying, he's orange. But you see that, obviously, it's not a problem. And I have to say, this UMA is an interesting one. This one less so. It's probably based off of something, but it's very strange. And I'm not quite sure who this master artist Masao is. But, yes. There's quite a lot of art pieces by Masao. And to be fair, I'm not really a fan of most of them. Don't know, they've not got quite the same level of quality as some of the others. And yes, this one is weird. Certainly deserves the weirdness prize. And oh, that's so cute and pretty. And I can't quite see that one properly. It's quite small, isn't it? But it looks like it's got a slightly terrifying head on it. So it could probably be quite deadly, definitely. And what is it with people and feet? Like why are people turning feet into enemies? Like, I mean, I suppose you do hands quite regularly because of like the Thing from the Addams Family. That's obviously quite common. But feet, it's an odd one. And that's an interesting one. Looks so basically, it looks like it's very much a plant-based, but adorable and erotic at the same time. It's probably quite apt because you see, it does look rather phallic, does it not? Baton, yes, I'm totally down with this one. This one's adorable, and it's just great. I mean, I would like to see how it flies with only one wing as well, but then it's a music note, so it just sort of, I would assume bob while the one wing flaps frantically. Well, I quite like this Picasso-esque Maui statue, or Moai statue. Got a bit of Moana on the brain, so Maui ends up stuck in there. Now we've got Mr. Kina, who is being stewed. And a whale that's Sakuya Kanahana. I suppose it has got a flower coming out of its water spout. So I suppose that does make a little bit more sense of it being Sakuya Kanahana. But I still find it really odd that they went with a whale for that one. And, that looks like somebody decided to draw something, decided they hated it, and then scribbled it out, and then sent it in anyway. The unstable mind that drew this. Unstable, I think, is probably the right term for that. And I would be slightly terrified to come up against this enemy. It's a giant bloody hand! This is also something I feel I would have drawn when I was younger, although this is clearly much better than I would have been able to draw because, as I said, can't really draw. And I'm not quite sure how this would be a UMA, but I suppose if it's just a head and it's food, then it's going to be terrifying, really. And Lips Man, wearing a Batman cape, and the prime focus is its lips. How interesting. I mean, it does look quite huggable, I will agree on that one. And what is it with these blooming furries with excellent physiques? But I suppose this is the type of UMA that wouldn't try to hurt you. You just get a little bit drunk with them. Totally fine. And yeah, it's a dragonfly that looks like a bat. And not a bat, but a baseball bat. It's quite a nice pun. And multicoloured bugs that are in the shape of Japanese letters. And obviously, if I could read Japanese, I'd be able to help you on that one as to what they say, but I can't, so I won't. And I look at this and I think, it looks like sort of a three-headed dragon, but it's not quite, is it? And then I think you can just about see its face, I think, because you've got the two green melony thingies, which are like cheeks, and then you've got its mouth in the middle, and its eyes are just above it. It's quite an interesting design, actually, to be fair. Very colourful, and I always like a bit of colour. Also, you spelled rebellious wrong. You see, that's how you spell rebellious, so I don't know why they screwed up the naming. I suppose it's being rebellious and spelling rebellious wrong. See, it's quite meta. God knows what it's trying to say, but you see, you've got Lulu and Catan. I think that was. I quite like these designs. They're very simple, but they're very effective. Perhaps not most suited for Little King's story, but I feel that they could have the game of their own, really. Although this is a good one. This is a very good design, and I like that it's all fruit and veg, which is always quite clever. Although I have to say that its ears are reminding me very much of Shrek, which perhaps wasn't the intention, but then perhaps was. And that's definitely an anime-inspired or manga-inspired knight. That looks very much like something I tried to draw many years ago. Because yeah, if there's one thing that I was never able to really do, it was draw people. Never really managed that one very well. You fart more when you eat sweet potatoes. To be fair, I don't think I would want to eat a sweet potato that farts. That'd be slightly terrifying. But anyway, moving on from farts. I do quite like this one as well, because it's a very well-drawn chicken in an egg cup. Well, at least it looks like it's in an egg cup. Anyway. And that is everything in the art exhibit. So we'll just have a quick glimpse at the blueprint, because there's a few little bits in here that we didn't actually look at. And then obviously we didn't really go through all of the stuff that Liam can show off. But as you can see, you don't really need most of it. So we're just going to have a quick glimpse into what Liam has to offer us. And then we're going to leap away very quickly. because really there's no point to Liam. He helped us out at the end of the game, but that's about it. So, this pretty much rounds up the end of Little King Stories Extras. So I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this very, very long walkthrough, and I hope that you will join me in the next one, which will be starting in the new year. Thank you all so much once again, and I'll see you next time.